Okay. Right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. First of all, let us say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, which has given guidance and blessing to us. Therefore, we can gather here without any hindrance. Our salawat and greeting are always delivered on our great Prophet Muhammad SAW, which has brought us from darkness to brighter. My name is Faisal Nurkabi as the host, and there's also Mr. Aziz as moderator and Mr. Ramadan as the presenter. Now, I'll give it to Mr. Aziz as the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Faisal Nurkabi. Good morning, all. Before introducing my name, Muhammad Aziz, I as a moderator at the Batch 8 Vct event. Today, I am moderator that will lead the discussion activities. The topic that we will talk about singing. Before the discussion begins, I will introduce group one member who will deliver the material. The arrangement of the discussion activities, what we'll do, including 1. Opening, 2. Presentation of material from the presenter group, 3. Session of question and answer, 4. Cover, and 5. Input from the theater. The first event is the opening. Let us ready Bismillah. Next is the presentation of the material. I gave time to Muhammad Ramadan to
Thank you to Mr. Ajis. And now we can uh, bahas about singing. Mr. Faisal, sorry for PPT. Faisal.
Wait a minute. Then I had it. Um, wait.
Sambil menunggu um, bernyanyi adalah sebuah kegiatan ya yang biasa kita lakukan atau yang biasanya orang-orang sukai itu. Apalagi jika sedang santai atau bernyanyi juga bisa jadikan sebuah pekerjaan, hobi dan sebagai pengekspresian diri.
Mr. Ramadan, I have to make your co-host because there is technical problem. You can share
Oke,
your screen, your own screen.
oke.
There you go. You can start. I'm sorry, Mr. Ramadan, you're muted. You are muted.
Okay. Sorry. Singing. What is singing? Singing is a vocal act, physical aspect of action to produce things by using voice and also adding to regular speech, of course, that by adding to a continuous tone of voice in use, also rhythm, and various other vocal techniques. Here, we can mau bahas about technique in singing. Technique in singing. Uh, we have seven techniques. The first one, breathing. Number two, articulating. Articulation. Number three, pressuring. Number four, intonation. Number five, resonance. Number six, posture. And the last one is sound expression or appreciation. Breathing. Breathing is the basic asset in singing. Besides being useful for singing, correct breathing is very good for health. Without technique breathing properly when singing will not produce a good sound. There are four breathing technique used singing, namely, um, number one, chest breathing. Chest breathing technique is done by expanding the chest capacity on when breathing. The eye collected in this way is less than optimal technique for singing. Number two is inhalation by lifting the shoulders up to breathe in the lungs. This method isn't very good because of the breath rather shallow and the sentence will be intermittent. Number three, abdominal breathing technique. Abdominal breathing technique, namely the movement of the stomach is increasingly expanding. The capacity, the stomach is enlarged so the air from outside fill the stomach. Um, the chest capacity in tension free, long wine pipe, and members pronunciation tools can really produce. However, it doesn't give a strong urge. This abdominal breathing is not good for singing. And the last one, uh, diaphragmatic breathing technique. This technique, namely breathing that is done by means of develop the thoracic and abdominal capacities in a balanced manner so that the diaphragma becomes relaxed and not tense. When exhaling the diaphragm, there is a sign can be felt and used as a handle, namely number one, feeling of the bottom of the ribs, number two, upstanding, three, putting brown palms on the right and left between the lower ribs and the upper abdomen. With the movement, we will feel the palm push outward. Number, number four, inhalation, tug the nose gently and slowly. Concentrating on the area around the upper abdomen toward to excite and expand the concentrate of the ribs. Then put our hand on the upper waist beside on the above explanation. It can be concluded that the breathing technique is the basic capital in singing. Besides being useful for singing, breathing, which is really good, very, very good for health. Without the correct current breathing technique singing, it will produce a good sound. And next, we have articulation. Articulation is the basis for the speech of the language sound that occur in the mouth. In singing, so that the message of the song text can be understood. The pronunciation of the song sentence must be clear. Singers need to practice so that the articulation in singing is clear, like the time pronounce vowels. Like in Indonesia, we use a, I, u, e, o, or a, I, u, e, o. Articulation is speaking to the lyric of the song that has rhythm, notation, melody, verse, and song lyric, which the lyric contain message, stories, goal, and so on that must be conveyed to a listener or audience who can convey the content of the message song. Alley. To produce a good sound or voice, there are several things that must be it is now to the trained vocal, namely lips, so that they are not stiff, so from like a sturdy trumpet funnel. Exercise the lower jaw to be smooth and flexible to open and close. The tongue is not stiff. Remain flat. Position. Try not to move the tongue and not to be pulled back. Flow air is channeled to the saline. Uh, Next, we have clustering. Clustering is a breaking of song lyric into different parts shorter, but still has a unity of meaning. The purpose of clustering is a chunk of song sentence according the content of the sentence to make it pleases. Therefore, attempt to reveal a song can be closer to the true content train therein, in accordance with the message of the song. Listening is a complete song by singing sentence song, while listening according to is a form of meaningful and true pattern in a musical word. Based on explanation above, it can be concluded the listening is breaking musical sentence into shorter, but still Chang has a unity of meaning which from a meaningful and to pattern, true pattern. The purpose of phrasing is to chop off musical sentence to make it more precise in accordance with content of the sentence. Thus, the effort to expression a song can be more expressing truth content trained in according with the message of the song. Next, we have intonation. Intonation time, a person singing, his voice sound false, be tone in the surrounding sound when with other instrument or people. Meanwhile, who are already proficient can produce a brilliant, bright, and resonant sound that's good. To get a voice, good singer need to practice intonation in singing. Intonation is to sing to tone precisely by aiming for the tone. Singers have to reach high to low. Feeling and hearing good is condition for the formation of good intonation. Intonation is sounding tone appropriately, either a high note or a tone below. Intonation is often referred to as precision in aiming for notes. Often trying the hearing to sensitive to the tone is the way practice so that intonation can be good. Based on early opinion, intonation is ability to sound an exact tone of singer, I low or not high. In the process of teaching and learning activities, intonation is vocal technique related to the accurately interrogating the tone or pitch control so clear voice, nice to hear and loud. In addition, intonation is often referred to as precision in targeting notes. In this case, the condition require are good hearing, musical taste, and breath control. Uh, from some the opinion above, it can be concluded that intonation is singing the chord correctly by aiming for the not by a singer, either by a singer, either to the low or the high note. In the process of teaching and learning activities, intonation in vocal technique deals with the accuracy in targeting tone, pitch control to clear, easy to hear, crisp a voice. Singer must reach high and low accuracy, breathing control, physical feeling, and good hearing are the condition for a good intention. For intonation, uh, we can learn um, alat musik supaya kita tahu jadi pas kita nyanyi nadanya tuh pas dengan yang harusnya kita tuju. Selanjutnya ada resonance. Resonance is singing with echoing voice. According to Yuda Pramudia, resonance is an effort to make sound echo beautifully. Not just a voice shouting loudly, but what we say must be understandable to the listener, and echoing voice must sound beautiful and regular. Based on the above explanation, it can be concluded that the resonance is an attempt to make a sound resonate or resonate beautifully. What we are pronounced, it must be understood by the listener, and the echo must be heard beautiful and organized. Okay, next. Posture. Posture is the position of the body or body when someone is singing. In order not to interfere with the respiration tract, this can be done while standing, walking, sitting, jumping, and so on. It's very so important to determine whether or not your appreciation is good when appearing on the podium or on stage depending on posture singing. That's enough important when singing in posture. A singer has to look after by practicing moving the chest up and not always struggling. So when singing not doesn't arise tension. The correct way of sitting or standing is a good posture at the time sing. So it will affect the affects the sound quality and provide flexibility on the inhalation process. From the various opinions about it can be concluded the posture in the is the position of the body or body when someone is singing. In order not to interfere with the respiration tract, this can be done while standing, walking, sitting, jump, and so on. It's very important to determine whether it's a good or your appreciation on the podium or on the stage, different or you attended work body singing. Jadi kalau pada saat kita bernyanyi, tubuh kita harusnya tegak supaya saat bernyanyi dalam kita mengeluarkan suara tidak terlalu effort, tidak terlalu susah untuk mengatur tubuh kita. Biasanya pada saat bernyanyi tubuh kalau kita terlalu memaksakan tubuh kita nantinya akan sakit-sakit. The last one we have a song expression. Song expression or appreciation expression is expressing something using feeling out loud change into the tempo or speed of the music. The severity of the song with its volume change and how to dial a tone to interpret a composing of our song. Expression that is living or animating with the heart is wall and mystery of the song lyrics, so that it takes some singing technique, namely dynamics and tempo. Dynamics is singing the loud, soft voice and part or praise musical stand. Tempo is the sign used for indicate sooner or later song is to be sung. Tempo can be grouped in the three groups, namely slow, medium, and fast. Signal second slow tempo, namely largo. Slower largissimo and rather slow larghetto. Very soulful slow adagio and very slow set brief. Very slow related legato. Medium tempo sign is moderate or moderate span allegro moderato slowly and then less fast andantino. And a sign of the fast tempo is prestissimo. Fast and happy vivace. And from the above explanation, it can be concluded that the expression is declaring something using rate of speed music. The music change with the volume and the manner dial in notes to interpret composition for song. Expression or animate with the heart as a wall and mystery of song lyrics. So it takes some singing technique, namely dynamic and tempo. Dynamic is singing the loud voice of a part or phrases sentence music. Okay. Um, in song expression, uh, biasanya kita supaya apa si rasanya tuh dapat, kita membayangkan apa yang membayangkan perasaan ketika kita berada dalam situasi yang tersebut. Jadi untuk menyampaikan perasaan kita sehari seperti bercerita agar si rasanya itu sampai pada pendengar. Oke, okay. Thank you for joining us. Uh, I will give back to Mr. Ajis.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rama. Okay, friend, we have listened to the exposure of Muhammad Ramadan. Very extraordinary material. We give applause. Next is a question and
Ada yang mau
apakah
bertanya?
ada yang mau bertanya?
Oh iya, kalau ada yang mau belajar apa nyanyi karena ini sedang pandemi, kita bisa belajar. We can learn singing in YouTube. Namanya tuh Vokal Plus. Di situ banyak sekali. Wait. Nah, ini di sini banyak info-info tentang bernyanyi, teknik dan sebagainya. Seperti pemanasan, pendinginan, dan cara bernafas juga di sini ada. Cara bernafas dalam bernyanyi. Ada yang mau bertanya?
Are there question from the audience? If there is no, we continue to the cover section. Langsung aja, Miss Tama, ke cover section.
Oh, kalau tidak ada bertanya, tutup sampai sini aja. Thank you for joining us. And Mr. Faisal,
Alright, can you hear me, Mr. Ramadan?
you can close the Zoom meeting.
Can you hear me? Alright. Um, thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Ramadan, and the guidance of the presentation from Mr. Aziz. Well, that's all from us. I hope this material could be more beneficial for the audience or everyone. We're very sorry if there's any mistake that we did not on purpose. Thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh,
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kak,
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
takutnya ada saran, Bu. Bapak silahkan. Dan untuk absen itu udah di-share ya.
Mangga Bu Asih, barangkali Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Oke, thank you Muhammad Aziz, Muhammad Ramadan, dan juga Faisal Nurkolbi atas waktunya untuk saya. Mohon maaf tadi saya memang tidak mengikuti dari awal, tapi insya Allah untuk penampilan kalian memang sudah bagus ya. Dan kali ini temanya sangat menarik, yaitu tentang apa?
Iya,
Seni ya?
Bu.
Apakah Ramadan menyukai menyanyi?
Iya.
Please your practice one thing about if you like lah, apa saja boleh, coba bisa dinyanyikan apa yang kamu suka nyanyi apa, silakan.
Bisa, Bu. But sometimes I just wanna try to be the whole. It's wet and in the clothes, and I love you till the end. Didn't you up as I want to be good to you, but I'm done looking at my future someone. Upon the time is right, or if people saw now, didn't know why, not the last time. Udah, Bu.
Oke. Apakah Muhammad Ramadan mengikuti kursus dengan latihan secara intensif sendiri?
Kalau kursus enggak. Kalau lihat-lihat misalnya dari YouTube itu iya.
Oh iya. Kemudian dipraktekkan gitu.
Iya.
Oh iya, good. Oke, selain menyanyi apa hobinya lagi selain menyanyi, Ramadan?
Ya.
Terus udah?
Masak juga kayaknya hobi sih, Bu.
Oh, cooking.
Ya.
Moving, menonton?
Nonton sekarang lagi suka.
Oh, lagi suka.
Iya.
Oke. Ya, pokoknya apapun hobi kalian, potensi kalian bolehlah yang positif-positif dikembangkan, nanti lebih condong kemana gitu. Oke, untuk penampilan kali ini sangat menarik dan bagus ya. Alhamdulillah presentasinya juga berjalan lancar. Mungkin itu saja dari saya. Mungkin nanti untuk presentasi yang ketiga ya?
Iya.
Untuk presentasi keempat, 5, dan 6 nanti bisa untuk lebih dioptimalkan lagi untuk pemanfaatan waktunya. Jadi nanti bisa full 60 menit. Jadi tadi bisa misalnya dimasukkan tuh Muhammad Ramadan. Nah, nanti maksudnya nih saya membahas tentang singing itu kayak gini 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 nih. Saya sudah berlatih nih contohnya seperti ini. Nah, bernyanyi nggak apa-apa 1 atau 2 lagu gitu. Oke, mungkin itu
Halo, Bu.
saja. Nah, nanti untuk berikutnya bisa ditampilkan dengan video, gambar atau bisa berupa infografis atau apapun gitu. Nanti jadi presentasinya bisa full 40 menit. Kemudian bisa ngundang teman-teman yang lain
Oh iya,
walaupun yang bukan satu apa namanya? Bukan satu
kelompok grup.
iya virtual bukan dari satu VCT bukan nggak apa-apa. Boleh teman sekelas, boleh teman satu sekolah dan lain sebagainya. Jadi nanti audiensnya lebih ramai sehingga lebih hidup presentasinya. Mungkin itu saja
Baik.
apa sih namanya masukan dari saya kurang lebihnya. Mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi
Makasih, Ibu. Makasih,
wabarakatuh.
Bapak. Terima kasih.
Sama-sama. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Oh iya, satu lagi tadi sudah dibuat kesimpulannya belum ya? Conclusionnya udah belum ya?
Oh, baik. Kesimpulan, Ajis.
Oh iya, ya udah nanti saya kembalikan lagi ke Muhammad Aziz ya sebagai
Iya,
moderator ya.
iya.
Oh iya, thank you.
Thank you.
Sekarang itunya
Ya,
apa namanya?
kesimpulan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia ya kesimpulannya. Jadi kesimpulannya menyanyi itu adalah suatu seni yang sedang berkembang di Indonesia maupun di dunia. Yang mana sekarang juga seni itu banyak sekali penggemarnya, baik itu dari seninya nyanyi solo, duet ataupun bergrup. Dan seni juga merupakan apa ya? Salah satu dalam menuangkan apresiasi perasaan seseorang yang baik itu secara batin ataupun lahiriah mungkin ya dalam mengapresiasikannya. Dan juga tadi Ramadan juga menjelaskan bahwa teknik dalam bernyanyi itu banyak sekali, yang mana tadi ada bracing, ada artikulasi, terus ada juga opportunity dan lain-lain. Yang mana tadi cukup jelas banget dan padat Ramadan menjelaskannya. Dan juga tadi pas saya menyimak di bagian ekspresi wajah, selama ini saya melihat teman-teman saya ya mungkin di sekitaran saya kalau bernyanyi itu ada yang menghayati, ada yang tidak, dan ada yang setengah-setengah. Dan rupanya tadi Rama bilang dalam bernyanyi itu rupanya harus memiliki penjiwaan ekspresi yang benar-benar apa yang dituangkan dalam lagunya. Misalkan kalau lagunya temanya sedih, otomatis ada rasa ekspresi sedih mungkin. Kalau misalkan di temanya itu ada gembira, berarti bergembira ekspresinya. Kalau misalkan ada mellow ataupun galau, pasti ada ekspresi mellow atau galau. Jadi itulah kesimpulan yang saya tadi tarik, saya ambil lah ya. Dan mohon maaf saya menyimpulkannya tidak menggunakan bahasa Inggris karena tadi mendadak melihat presentasi yang itu sangat-sangat bagus banget, padat dan penjelasannya. Oke, thank you, terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Mr. Ajis.
Okay.
Faisal Nur Kalbi.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Aziz and Mr. Ramadan, and Bagus and Bu Asih for joining this presentation. I am Faisal Kolbi as the host. We will close the VCon. Yes. Then see you next time, I think. Bye.